we came in here hoping to leave 2-2, and unfortunately we didn't finish the job. So now FAMU is 2-2. We're 1-3. The atmosphere was great, great rivalry. I think Southern won probably the fan. I'm not exactly sure who they rewarded the win on the band contest, but they won the game. And to them, that's the most important thing. Unfortunately, we were not able to close it out in the second half. Defense played the entire third quarter because great things happened. They returned interception for a touchdown. Demetric did. We returned a kickoff for a touchdown, I think it was. A punt for a touchdown. So defense, they were on the field. When we got on the field offensively, unfortunately, we made some mistakes. It wasn't the best game for us. We dropped a lot of balls. Guys that had been playing big for us didn't quite have the type of game they normally had, and as a result, we ended up on the short end of the stick.
Coach, that game seemed to turn a lot. You guys had the momentum going. You blocked the punt, and then the young man goes up to try to corral the punt, and then he missed it, and then they get the ball back. It seemed like from there, momentum really shifted to FAMU's way.
Well, yeah, I think so. But I think it shifted even more when we came back out. We put a young man in the ball game. Unfortunately, he didn't do the right thing. And when something broke down, instead of trying to make something out of nothing, we should have thrown the ball away. And as a result, we threw an interception. And I think that gave them more momentum than actually the mistake we made on special teams.
Coach, talk about it in the second half. They brought their quarterback, the second quarterback in. He really started to get the offense kind of rolling. Were you expecting him to come in at all?
Absolutely. I mean, Coach Taylor sat here and told us that he was going to play, so that was no surprise. We just needed to do offensively, control the ball. That's the bottom line. So it was no surprise that they came out with that young man. You take Coach Taylor for his word. Same thing. It should have been no surprise that I was going to pass the ball. We were going to pass the ball. That's what we do. Now, we were able to get some runs today, and that was beneficial. It gave us an opportunity to be in the ball game. It gave us an opportunity to make it a very competitive football game, and that's what football is all about.
Coach, how much of an impact did the loss of some of your offensive linemen in terms of your running game towards the end of the game?
Well, that's part of football. They've lost people too, so I'm not going to make an excuse there. That's not why we lost the ball game, because we lost our Chris Brown. Did it hurt some? Yeah, but that's not why we lost the football game. It changed some of what we wanted to do, because now Clinton Boyd, who was a tight end for us, we had to bring him in and make him a tackle. And Donald Glover, a guy that we were hoping to redshirt, we had to actually bring him in and make him a guard in order to put Clinton Boyd back in the ballgame. So it hurt a little bit, but it was not the deciding factor. The deciding factor was FAMU came out. They had a little bit to do with the mistakes that we made, just like we had something to do with the mistakes they made, and they won the ballgame. Yeah, they kept the ball offensively, which kept us off the field in the third quarter, and we were a little cold. And when we came back out, unfortunately, we made some mistakes. But again, they had a hand in some of the mistakes that we made.
Would you have much rather stuck with one quarterback, or did you like playing both JP and Dre?
I would have loved to have won. I would have loved for both quarterbacks to have played just like we did. And I think at times both quarterbacks played well. J.P. Douglas is from Roswell, so it was good. He had fans and family here, and I thought he played pretty decent. I think he was 3 of 5 in the second quarter. think he was. Going into halftime, I think he was 3 or 5. But he picked up 20 valuable yards on the ground, which allowed us to score a touchdown before the half.
Coach, what did you tell your team after the game?
It was a tough loss. I mean, first of all, I asked them if there was any. I wanted every player in there that played in that game to raise his hand if he didn't make a mistake. If he played a perfect game, I wanted him to raise his hand. And then I wanted every coach that coached in that game, if they coached the perfect game, I wanted them to raise their hand. And not one person raised their hand. Therefore, we can't point fingers, because all of our mistakes, along with FAMU, offense, defense, and special teams, contributed to us losing the ball game. So that's what I told my players and my coaches. That's my loss. That's my loss. Those guys work extremely hard, players and coaches. And so we can't point fingers. We win and lose as a team. That's the way it's going to be.
Question for Demetric. What did you see on that interception?
DB coach had just told me that the quarterback was looking at exactly who he was throwing to every time he dropped back.